What's going on, everyone? In today's video, I'm going to show you what sold. This is just a what sold video. I'm an Amazon FBA bookseller. My name is Joji, also a high school chemistry teacher. I'm just really showing you guys behind the scenes what happens with the side hustle. So my goal this year is to hit $100,000 in profit, $300,000 in revenue, selling books on Amazon, and literally not even ever going to a thrift store or library sale, just buying books on Amazon that are below market value and using Keepa as a way to figure out if the book's undervalued or not, and then just reselling it on Amazon. So we're gonna go over a bunch of books that I sold today. We're in the middle, actually kind of the end of textbook season, and it's really exciting during this time because we can sell a lot of textbooks. And I think it'd just be fascinating to show you kind of, some of the books that I bought, what I bought them for, what I sold them for, the profit and all that. And I want to let you know, by the way, if you're kind of new to selling, not even if you're new, if you're even an intermediate or advanced, I do have a free Discord that you can join below. So check that link below. But with that said, let's get right in the video. Okay, so I'm over here on my Amazon Seller Central page. You can see that today was a great day. We sold $2,800 in revenue. That's not profit by any means, that's revenue, but that definitely is going to be a healthy chunk of profit, and we'll see that in a moment here. And what we can do actually, just to kind of show you, how much I've sold over this last month and also this last year, I can come over here in Amazon Seller Central, come down here to where I see reports. We can go to business reports. You can see that today we've sold 40 items, but if I go ahead and look at month to date and click apply, you can actually see that we've sold 710 books for a total of $46,000. So we're creeping up on 50,000. I really hope we can hit 50,000. That'd be really awesome in this month. And you can see the year to date, if we apply, we sold 2,900 books for a total of $203,000. And again, the goal by the end of the year is to try to hit $300,000 in revenue, $100,000 in profit. So it's kind of a lofty goal. Not sure if we'll be able to get there, but I think I'll get pretty close if I don't get there. But let's actually look at some of the orders today. And what I'm going to do here is actually look at the oldest orders starting today. So I'm going to scroll down, and I think you have to go on the third page here. And you can actually see this is the first thing that sold, 2:45 a.m. in the morning. Somebody got up super early, probably someone on the East Coast who bought this. Ultrasound scanning principles. So nothing too crazy there. I got this at a book fair for like $2, sold for 29 bucks. That's great. Most of what I just told you is I don't actually buy books out in the wild, but sometimes I do. Like this is a book fair that I went to because my wife wanted to go to a book fair, and there's somebody who like buys storage units or something. He had a whole bunch of books. Is asking like $2 a book. I got like 10 books from him, and yeah, this is one that I got for $2, sold for 29. So the profit on that was great. I mean, it's not like a high dollar. It's not like I'm going to make a lot of money from that, but great book there. Let's actually look at this book, Our Blood. It sold for $57.99, and I bought it for $11.92. So great flip here. Again, this is all online book arbitrage. It just means that I bought this on Amazon and I flipped it on Amazon. So we put the buy cost in at $57.99. We made a $29 profit, 215% return on this book. And this is just a Keep It Deals book. So I bought this on April 28th, which is actually quite a while ago, but you can see this is when the price, that's actually May. So it'd be right here. You can see the price drop from $59.99 down to $11.92. That's where I bought it. Fascinating is that the sales rank did not drop when I actually bought it. So, sometimes that happens, but yeah, over the last 3,000 days, this is a book that has held value. It's, never really been super cheap. And, over the last year, it's kind of always been right around 45. It's had a few sales rank drops. So this one definitely took a while to sell, but a great return on our investment. Now, the next book I'm actually super excited about. This is actually a seasonal book. I sold this for $49.99, and I actually didn't buy it that long ago. We actually bought it up here on August 5th for $11.98. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the seller amp, and you can see that it's a $21 profit. But here's what I mean about seasonality. If we scroll down here to the Keepa chart, one thing that you'll notice is that, I guess right now, once it gets to May, June, July, like this book inflates in price. I mean, it was super cheap. You could have bought this book for like $2 for a couple of months. So this is a book that you should definitely track. Now, what's interesting is that even though it doesn't start inflating in price around July, August, in the past, it hadn't really ever got that high. And one of the reasons for that is the offer count was actually significantly higher. But this is a book that, for whatever reason, is becoming more rare. Offer count is kind of trending downward. And yeah, I mean, this was a book that was a great flip, but I would say definitely track this book because I think coming next July, August, September, it's also going to do really well. Now, right above that, we have yet another seasonal book. This one sold for $45. And if you don't know who Victor Gallegos is, make sure you go check out both part 1 of my interview with him and also now part 2 interview that I had with him. Basically, he does all seasonal online book arbitrage. Really awesome guy. Super intelligent. And the idea is you find books that have great seasonality and pretty much every year sell really well during the season, and in the off season, you can buy them super cheap. So here's a great example of a Jewish holiday book that I'm sure I wasn't into very much. Looks like $15.46. Bought it here in the off season, was able to sell it for, $45, which is right now, and the on season is, and make some pretty good profit on that. All right, these next two books that sold actually kind of blows my mind. This is the dissection guide and atlas to the mink. I sold this to one person twice for $101. I went to a business customer, which means probably it was a college that bought it. And I actually bought both of these copies right around May of this year, so a few months ago, and all for around like 15 to 16 bucks. So I mean, I flipped it for $100, bought it for 15, a great pickup. So, if we put in the buy cost here, $15.60, basically sold for 101. I mean, we made a $62 profit, which is a 400% return on investment, which is just absolutely crazy. And the reason why this book always surprises me is because this is a book that can easily get really cheap, but still for some reason inflates in price. Obviously has a really great January season. You can see how the offer count basically just dropped off a cliff there. But you can see it wasn't like an IP complaint. It was like just a lot of demand where kind of steadily went down. But this is a book that has sold multiple times. So again, this is another book that you should be tracking out there. Probably track it for right around like 18 or so bucks, free shipping. But yeah, I mean, you can actually see starting from 11 months ago, I've sold this book $69, $105, $105, $105, $102, and then 2 more times for 101. I've always picked it up for right around like 17 to 18 bucks. So for whatever reason, this is a book that Keep a Show should probably sell for 40 to 50 during textbook season, but I don't know, there's just not a lot of people selling it. So I'm happy to get those sales. I'm also happy to share the listing with you. So if you pick up some copies for like under 18, I think you'll have to wait for the textbook season, but those are great flips. All right, this next book that we sold for $65 is also another recent flip. So you can see under the SKU that this was basically this was actually listed on August 8th. It's actually August 28th. So this book literally sold 20 days after listing. And what we can see is I bought this obviously on July 25th. Let me open up the order. I spent $16.44 and it sold for a total of $65.96. So we made a $25 profit and 150% ROI on the book. So definitely a great pickup there. And let's go down the Keep chart and figure out why. Basically, this is a book that had sold multiple times in the $50 range and then saw just over a 1 week period, it just kind of went really cheap. It went down to about 12 for 14 bucks. I mean, I was able to pick mine up for $16.44 and I was able to find this book with Keep a Product Finder. So if you want a guide that, a way that I source books that I've never shared on YouTube, I only offer it to people who actually watch the videos. Check out the link below in the description and you can see how I find books for like under 10 bucks and flip them for 30, 40, and 50 bucks using Keep a Product Finder. It's a really cool tool that, again, I haven't shared on YouTube. So if you're interested in that, make sure you grab that. All right, nothing here that seems too crazy. Let's go to the next page. Let's go and look at this Tribal Secrets book. We sold this for $49.99 on it, and we bought this on July 7th. So again, another book that we haven't actually held for too long. Looks like we picked this one up for $11.98. We can go and plug that over here into Selleramp. So we made a $22 profit and 189% ROI. And by the way, everyone, these are books that I'm not even touching. I don't have time. List the books and prep the books, unbox the books, send them to Amazon because that takes a lot of time. So what I do is actually send my books to a prep center and I pay $2.25 per book for them to inspect it, for them to list it, and then obviously I have to pay for the inbound shipping to Amazon. But it's an absolutely awesome service, gives you back your time so that you can do other things. I mean, right now I'm filming this video at literally midnight because I just don't have much time. I'm a high school chemistry teacher, and I have a newborn son, I have a wife, I like to, I have hobbies and stuff besides just selling books on Amazon. So the point is, I don't touch most of the books. I obviously still have to list some books, but the overwhelming majority of books that I sell, I never even touch. So there's an example of a $22 profit we made, never even touched this book. All right, this book up here, we sold for $145, Jewels of the Renaissance. It's a coffee table book. We actually picked this up on Flipmine. And if I recall, I think we picked this up for about $57. So got tons of Flipmine videos as well. That's eBay to Amazon sourcing. It's a software that basically scrapes eBay to try to compare eBay listings to Amazon listings. And if there's a big enough differential in price that you can, snag books on eBay. So this one I bought on eBay for $57, was able to sell for $145. So go and put in that sell cost. You basically made an 87% ROI, but the profit on that book was $45. I mean, a really great book. You can see Keep a Chart on this book is great. I mean, it's pretty much worth $130 to $160. It's selling at that all the time. And yeah, really great pickup. All right, this Spring Awakening book, this sold 11 hours ago, 1:01 p.m. Sold it for $84.55. We bought it over here on July 10th for $16.26. So, I mean, if we go ahead and put that buy cost in sales price, we made a $45 profit, 278% ROI. Again, I didn't even touch that book. And the reason why I bought this is really simple in principle. It's that this book just dropped to a really cheap price. I mean, I was able to pick this book up on Keepa Deals. And if you're not sure what Keepa Deals is, I have a whole bunch of videos on how to source using Keepa Deals. But essentially, you're looking for books that have a one-time drop in price. And this is one that, was a no-brainer. It's been selling for over $70, pretty consistently. Has been cheaper in the past before. But yeah, I felt pretty confident that price I was picking up was pretty good. And I mean, it worked out to $45 profit. And by the way, I do kind of have really exciting news. I'm actually currently working on an Amazon to Amazon course. So it's really hard to fit in everything that I've learned over the last 6-7 years into just, 10, 15, 20 minute YouTube video every now and then. So I'm building a course. I'm actually going to launch it with Steve Raiken, and it should be launched in about a month. So if you're someone out there who's like, Joji, I really like your model, I like that, buy on Amazon, sell on Amazon, don't ever touch the book, then make sure you stick around and look for that course. It's definitely going to be, not cheap, but what I will say is that what we will be offering at is a steal for what I personally think is worth, considering that my goal is to make $100,000 profit with it. So not with the course, but $100,000 profit with all the knowledge that I have. And that's all going to go into a course. So anyways, just a little plug there that I am in the process of making that, and feel free to check it out in the future. Okay, this next book is really interesting. So this looks like to be a children's book. It's a Spanish edition children's book, and we sold it for $60. And this is a book where my Keepa knowledge and having looked at Keepa charts for years and years, looking at tens and tens of thousands of Keepa charts really helped me out. I think a lot of beginners would automatically just skip this book, but we bought this on July 24th. We bought it for $11.98. You can actually see when this book dropped on Keepa Deals down to $7.99 plus shipping. That's when we picked up a copy. And a lot of people look at this Keepa listing and go, you know what? This is a terrible book. It's sold 4 or 5 times. It's all over the place. It's been super high. It hasn't sold there. Well, what I would like to do is use my cursor to kind of zoom in on specific points in time when the sales range drop. And so here's, for example, a sales range drop. And it's interesting, right? Because at that time, the cheapest price was $133. And so I'm sitting there thinking, did this children's book really sell for $133? Well, I don't know. It seems unlikely. There actually is no collectible offer here. There's no new offer there. So, I mean, it probably did sell for that, which is kind of crazy. Then we see, oh, okay, well, this book looks like it sold for $15.51. That person went off the listing. Then recently, it looks like before, I bought a copy, it looks like it sold for $30. It looks like it sold for $54. If we expand the days to the last 2,400 days, kind of what I'm noticing is that for a long period of time, this book is listed at an absolutely absorbent high price, $300. Either that, or it's actually not even in stock. It's just not even in the listing. But if we go back, look at the last 2,400 days, again, I see more data to support that this book appears to be selling for at least $25, at least $35, even up to $40. And so my thought process with this book is like, okay, I'm buying it for $11.98. That seems to be very cheap in the grand scheme of its entire history. It's by no means going to move fast. I mean, it actually did sell pretty fast, sold for $60, and we made a great profit on it. But yeah, interesting book there. All right, the next book here, awesome Halloween drawing book. We sold for $31.60. This is a book that I bought for, I want to say $6 or $7 in the off season on May 2nd. So again, seasonal book arbitrage. Check out both of those interviews with Victor Gallegos. Essentially, it's a Halloween book. It tends to do very well every single year. Honestly, probably sold this too cheap. I probably could have sold it for more, but I'm happy to sell it 2 months before Halloween. So yeah, awesome flip. All right, this next one I want to show, a really fantastic book, sold for $39. And we bought this on February 2nd. So this book was bought quite a while ago, like 6 months ago, but the reason why I felt confident buying this at the buy price is because this book has great historical selling data, basically between $30 and $50, and it's never really historically been as cheap as it was when I came across it here. I basically was able to pick up a couple copies, so you can see about 2 copies for $3.15 plus shipping. So basically all at the door at $14.28, and yeah, absolute great pickup. Paid $7, was able to sell it for $33, and I've actually sold this book twice, I believe. If I come over here and click orders, yeah, you can actually see that it did sell for $50 there and sold it for $39 just recently as well. So great pickup, a little bit more of a long tail book, but again, my philosophy with spending money on buying books is kind of like investing. It's like, can I trade my money for an asset? Can I trade it for something that is worth an equal amount, or in this case, ideally worth more than the money that I used to purchase that thing? And while this is something that might take 5-6 months to return my money, if I'm making 100%, 200%, I mean, that kind of return in 6 months time is an amazing return, especially when you compare it to the stock market. All right, we're going to go to now page number 1, and let's just look at maybe a couple more books here that are fascinating. And this one, Awesome. How to Probate and Settle an Estate in Texas, 4th edition. Sold this for $90. And what's crazy about this book is I actually just bought it on July 29th. So I just bought it literally 1 month ago to this day. And you can actually see I bought it here for $12.95. That was July 29th. I think about 2 or 3 copies of this. But if we scroll down to the Keep It chart, what you'll kind of notice is that, when I bought this, I bought it because I got a Keep alert. Basically, I was tracking this book for $12 and the price of this book dropped below that. I got hit with a notification. And so if you're not really following what tracking books is, there's this little feature above a Keep It graph where you can track a product for whatever price that you want. So I was tracking this one in particular for $12 and I was able to snag a couple copies. And the reason why I did so is because this is a book that has sold up to $70. It's a book that generally hangs out between 30, 40, 50, but this came out a long time ago. This came out in 2005. Apparently, if people are willing to spend this kind of money in 2020, 2021, 2022, there probably isn't a new edition out, and I don't even actually see. Actually, it does this 4th edition, but yeah, this is a book that came out a long time ago, still seems to be selling. And the great news about this book is that it's a replen. So I actually sold it once before, 4 months ago, for $99. Then I just picked up 2 copies with the Keep Alert, basically picked both up for right around $12, and then just sold them both for $90. So, I mean, if we come over here and put in the buy cost, $89.99, we made a $50 profit twice. So we made $100 just on that one book off one Keep Alert. So if that doesn't show you the power of setting Keep Alerts, I don't know what does. All right, this video is getting way too long. Just a ton of books I've sold. It's textbook season. I mean, some of these books are not textbooks, but yeah, it just shows you the power of what can happen if you start scaling your business slowly and you start with a little bit of capital, start with smart buys. Make sure you really learn Keepa and just you stick with it. The last book we'll go with is a Chinese acupuncture book. I believe I've sold this multiple times, but sold this for $162 just 3 hours ago. And yeah, $162. So we go and put in that sell price. And I think I bought this for $60 at Amazon. Yeah, I mean, I think I bought it back here, let's see, on April 15th. So that would have been, right around when, let's see, where's April 15th at? Maybe did I spend $90? Maybe I did spend $90. That seems like a lot for this book. Let's see. No, okay, so I did spend $62.46 for this book. So $62.46, $62 profit on this book. And I actually replumbed this also on eBay as well. And if I come over here down to Seller Amp, look at orders. Again, this is a book that you can see I've sold twice. I sold it once for $238 and then sold it for a little bit cheaper for $162. So everybody, I know this video is super long. I just kind of want to show you the day in the life. This is textbook season and I could not be happier. I literally am so thankful that this opportunity to sell books on Amazon exists because it has literally changed my life. I'm able to take all my teaching income and invest it into the stock market and use Amazon as a side hustle to pay for all of our living expenses. And my goal really is to retire early. My goal is to not sit on a couch and do nothing. My goal is to be able to buy back my time, buy back my freedom. And the way to do that is to have enough saved up so that, you can pay for your living expenses indefinitely. So that's the goal. If you enjoy this content and you want to stick around, make sure you subscribe because I'm coming out with more videos. But that's all I got for you. Have a good one. Goodbye.